The guy wasn't watching the road while driving. He almost hit a black bear on the road. His first instinct was to swerve, but unexpectedly, it triggered a chain of butterfly effects. The road was slippery, so the car wobbled and lost control. And just then, he hit a rock. The car went straight into the nearby woods. And in the woods, a woman was squatting down to pee. A totally coincidental accident happened just like that. The guy hurried out of the car to check. There was a woman lying on the ground with her lower body exposed. Right then, the woman's husband came over when he heard the noise. He saw everything happen. The guy tried to go over and explain, but the husband slipped and fell in his panic. Even worse, he crashed into a thick tree nearby. He died on the spot. The guy was stunned. He hadn't done anything at all, but he'd accidentally killed 2 people in a minute. He'd lived most of his life, and this was the first time he'd ever encountered something like this. But after thinking for a moment, he decided to flee the scene of the accident because he noticed there wasn't a single person around. No one would find out about this at all. So he went home with a nervous feeling. During dinner, his wife noticed the scratch on his face. After he told her the whole story, the wife's first reaction was to ask why he hadn't called the police. After all, he hadn't meant to kill anyone. It was all just a coincidence. But the guy had his own reason. His car didn't have insurance. If he called the police, they'd lose all their savings. They didn't have time to think more. The couple hurried back to the accident scene, but while wiping off fingerprints, they made an unexpected discovery. There was a designer bag in the car. It looked like the owner was rich. Seeing that, the wife opened the trunk. Sure enough, there was a racket and a handbag inside. When they opened the handbag, it was stuffed with stacks of cash, a full 2 million euros. They never expected an accident to hide such a surprise. And since the car's owner was already dead, that money would naturally be theirs. But with so much cash, how could they take it away without anyone noticing? The wife came up with an idea right away. No body means no death. No death means no crime. As long as they got rid of the bodies, they could take the money for themselves without anyone finding out. Following the wife's plan, Jack went to handle the other man's body. After they finished, the two used a pickup truck to take the bodies back home. First, the wife counted the cash in the handbag. She'd figure out what to do with the bodies later. Jack was messing with the designer bag on the side. Unexpectedly, he found a handgun inside. Jack accidentally pulled the trigger. The bullet barely missed his wife, leaving a hole in the wall. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. The couple panicked. If someone found out, they'd be done for. The wife quickly put the money back in the bag, then told Jack to clean up the table. She'd go answer the door. But what they didn't expect was that the person at the door was the town sheriff. The reason he came knocking late at night was to pick up the Christmas tree the couple had custom made for him. Inside the house, Jack glanced at the cash on the table and the bullet hole in the wall. He immediately understood what his wife had told him to do. When the sheriff walked into the room, he saw the cash and the handgun clearly laid out in front of him, and Jack was standing to the side, covering the bullet hole in the wall with his hand. If the sheriff opened the handbag right then, the two of them would be finished. But strangely enough, the sheriff didn't have the slightest doubt. The only thing that felt odd to him was that Jack kept standing by the wall. Jack had already made up an excuse for this. He lied to the sheriff, saying he'd been driving all day, and now he just wanted to stand, since they'd been old friends for years. The sheriff didn't think anything was wrong after hearing that. Then the sheriff followed Jack outside, ready to pick up his custom-made Christmas tree. But just then, Jack noticed the body they brought back was still outside, and its 2 feet were really noticeable. So he quickly thought of a way. He used his body to block it. It was a close call. The sheriff almost saw it. After sending the sheriff away, the couple quickly searched online for ways to get rid of the bodies. Surprisingly, they actually found answers. First, feed the bodies to pigs. Pigs eat anything. They won't leave any traces. But the downside is they eat too slowly. Second, dissolve the bodies with concentrated sulfuric acid, even though it's fast to handle. The downside is the process is complicated and full of danger. Just then, the wife suddenly thought of a good way. Early the next morning, the two got a boat. They put the bodies on the boat and took them to the upper part of the river. There are salmon in the river. Salmon attract black bears. Black bears will eat the bodies. It won't leave any traces, and it's really easy to handle. To make sure the black bears would be attracted, the two also spread a thick layer of honey on the bodies.